Hi guys, it's Jessica here and I'm back again with another video. In my last video and the one before that, I talked about doing a review of this lovely phone right here. Well, that day has come. Today I'm here to review the new BlackBerry DTEK50. And I just wanted to let you know before I get on with the review that I tried to make this review as unbiased as possible, as I am a big fan of BlackBerry and I love their phones. You could basically call me a BlackBerry fanboy. So with that being said, I want to make this review as unbiased and honest as possible. So I'm not only going to be talking about the great things that this phone has to offer, I'm also going to be talking about its flaws as well. So now that I've said that, let's get on with the review of the new BlackBerry DTEK50. Alright, let's start by taking a look at the outside of the phone. The design of this phone is nothing spectacular or special. I would say that it is more of a simple design, and I would call it simply simplistic. It's a full touch phone, so there is no physical keyboard. If you are looking at it and thinking it looks like the Alcatel Idol 4, you would be right. This phone is actually the Alcatel Idol 4, just rebranded as a BlackBerry. There is a nice bit of metal that goes around the side of the phone. The back of the phone may not have a metal back, but instead it has a grip texture. This is actually a good thing because it is nice and grippy, which makes it not fall out of your hands easily. I think this is a great decision on BlackBerry's part and a great feature to have. This is especially great if you do not put a case on your phone. On the upper left side is where the power button is, and on the right side is where you'll find the volume up and volume down button. It is all one button, and if you press the top of it, the volume goes up, and the same thing happens if you press the bottom, the volume goes down. On the same side as the volume button, there is another button, and at first you may mistake it as the power button, but it is not. It is the convenience button, also known as the convenience key, and I will talk more about it later. On the top of the phone, you will find the headphone jack and mic, and on the bottom is where the plug-in port to charge it is, and another mic. One of the major things about this phone is that it's BlackBerry's thinnest and lightest to date. It's super light and feels like nothing is almost there, and it's great when you put it in your pocket. The phone only weighs 135 grams or 4.76 ounces, or 7.4 millimeters or 0.29 inches deep. The phone has a 5.2-inch display with scratch resistant and smudge proof screen. I have to say though that as much as it is scratch resistant, you should still get a screen protector for it, as you can still get scratches on it. And I actually have two small scratches on the middle of the screen that I got. I don't know how I got them, but I got them, so I did get myself a screen protector and I will be putting that on. So I would say that this phone is not 100% scratch resistant. Now I heard that also getting a screen protector not only helps with preventing scratches, but also helps with the longevity of the screen. I heard that it helps basically make the screen survive longer, like it will last longer. About it being smudge proof, it sort of works. I find that you can still get smudges on it, but you can easily wipe them away, and when the screen is turned on, you don't see them at all. The DTEK50 also has a resolution of 1920 by 1080p and 424 ppi, which makes the colors display nice and vivid and makes the text clear and sharp. This phone has dual front-facing speakers as well as in the back. This is great as you have both speakers in the front and in the back. So no matter how you have your phone face down, you will be able to hear the music or whatever you are listening to. The only downside about this is I noticed that the speakers, at least on the front side, tend to collect a lot of debris easily. The DTEK50 is equipped with Android 6.0, which means you can get access to over 1 million apps on the Google Play Store, no problem. Now if you're coming from a BB10 phone, then this is probably one of the major reasons why you switched or are looking to switch. The DTEK50 has a Snapdragon 617 octa-core processor with 3 GB of RAM. This means that it runs pretty fast and does not have any issues while playing games or watching videos. The DTEK50 also has a 2610 mAh battery. It is not the best battery, but it does get the job done. If you are not using the phone heavily, the battery will last you the whole day. But if you play a lot of Pokemon Go during the day, it will drain your battery and you will need to charge it. The phone does come with a battery saver feature that you can easily turn on, and it does help conserve battery life. But I would recommend that if you use this phone heavily during the day, that you get yourself a battery pack / power bank. You can get some good ones for a decent price. I pre-ordered this phone, so I received the BlackBerry battery pack / power bank. You can see it right here. I got this with the pre-order. You can no longer get this with the phone, but you can order this separately from BlackBerry if you want to get this one. I got it with the phone. It was only a pre-order option, so if you didn't pre-order, then you do not get this with the phone. But you can order it separately from BlackBerry, and I believe it was like $60-something. It may be cheaper now. I don't know the price, but that's what it was when I pre-ordered the phone. So all in all, this phone does have a decent battery, but I would have appreciated a bigger one, so I don't have to charge it as often. The DTEK50 only has 16 gigabytes of internal storage, but it does have a micro SD card slot, which supports cards up to 2 terabytes. So the low internal storage space is not much of an issue. This phone does not have a removable back like older BlackBerries, so the micro SD card / SIM card slot is on the right side of the phone and can be accessed by using the pin that came with the phone in the box. Fast charging up to 50% in 51 minutes is available thanks to the Qualcomm chipset. This only works if you use the wall charger and the USB cable that came with the phone, so you would need this. Now I heard that this may not be actually a fast charging cable and that you may need to actually buy a fast charging cable, but I have plugged just the USB cable here into my computer, and charging it through the computer is actually quite slow, and well, plugging it into a wall outlet actually charges it really fast, like super fast. So I don't know if this is a fast charging cable, but either way, this charges it really fast. Now that I've talked about most of the specs, let's take a look at what's inside the phone. So this is what the lock screen of the phone looks like. As you can see, my wallpaper is that of the TARDIS from Doctor Who. I'm a big fan of the show, and I love that this picture looks nice as a wallpaper. It took me about an hour or so going through all the potential pictures I gathered to use as a wallpaper before I decided on using this one. Anyways, this phone does not have the awesome feature that only required you to slide your finger up on the phone to wake it up. It was an awesome feature of BB10 phones that I loved. Instead, to wake up your phone, all you have to do is double tap on the screen. This is something that I'm still getting used to since for the last 3 years I have had the BlackBerry Z10. You can also double tap to turn off the screen as well. So this is what the home screen looks like, and if you swipe to the right, you can go to the next screen to see more of your apps, and the same again. This is my first experience having an Android device, as I've never had one before. I've dealt with iOS as I have an iPod Touch 5th generation. So what I can say is that I do like the Android OS, but I love the tweaks that BlackBerry has done to the OS. One being the app bucket. I love the way it looks, and it kind of reminds me of how it looks on BB10. It's not the same, but it kind of reminds me of it. Now that you've seen that, let's take a look at the camera next, and then we can take a look at some of the pre-installed apps. The BlackBerry DTEK50 has a decent camera compared to a lot of the previous BlackBerries. It has a 13 megapixel autofocus rear-facing camera and an 8 megapixel wide-angle front-facing camera. The front-facing camera not only features a better megapixel than any BlackBerry before, but it also has flash, just like the rear-facing camera. So you can take way better selfies than any other BlackBerry previously and have fun taking a panorama selfie. Here are some pictures I took with the BlackBerry DTEK50 just to show you what it looks like. These pictures were taken using the rear-facing camera. This is a picture of one of my cats trying to get some sun. Also, you can see I took a panorama picture as well. The pictures turned out good, and I think the rear-facing camera is pretty decent and way better than my previous phone. Now, I'm not a person that really likes to take selfies all that much, but for this review, I took some so you could see what it looks like. I also had a bit of fun taking a panorama selfie. I think that it is a nice feature to have, and I love how BlackBerry has improved on the front-facing camera with this phone. So if you like taking selfies or regular pictures, then this phone does a pretty good job at it. It is not a super high quality camera, but it does get the job done very nicely. As you can see here, there is a few other features the camera can do. It has a lot of filters and 3 different modes you can choose from. You can choose to turn the flash on or off, and set a timer, and also change the size, and turn on HDR. The DTEK50 can also record video in 1080p HD with 30 frames per second on both the front and rear facing camera. Here's a quick video to show you what it looks like. I took this video using the rear-facing camera, and I think it turned out pretty well. So I would say it takes pretty good video, and you can use it to film your YouTube videos if you like. It is not going to take outstanding video, but it does get the job done pretty well. You can also record video using the front-facing camera as well. Now let's take a look at some of the pre-installed apps that the DTEK50 comes with. Here you can see all the apps I have installed on this phone, but some of these were pre-installed. So here you can see from my home screen that I have BBM. This is BlackBerry Messenger, and just so happens to be one of my most used apps, as it is the only way I stay in contact with my parents and my best friend. They all have BlackBerry phones. You can also see the Messenger app, which is where you can send your text messages. BlackBerry also brought over the Great Calendar app to this phone, and it works nice and perfectly. They make it quite easy to add events and reminders for all the email accounts you have set up, and lots of other things. The next app is one of the most useful apps you will ever encounter. Once you start using it, you'll wonder why all the other phones you've had never had something like this, and I guarantee you won't be able to live without it. The app I'm talking about is the BlackBerry Hub. It is an app where you can manage all of your email, social notifications, calls, and messages in one inbox. It manages multiple email accounts without switching between apps. It also integrates notifications from apps like BBM, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Instagram, and more to allow you to manage important notifications and view your communication history. I've been using this app for years, as my last phone was a BlackBerry Z10 and it was first introduced on the BB10 phones. The look of the hub is slightly different than on BB10, but it does all the same stuff as before. So I'm so glad that BlackBerry decided to bring this over to Android, as I don't know what I would do without it. This app is like a lifesaver to me, and you'll understand when you start using it. You won't look back after. Next, let's take a look at the app that gave this phone its rather awkward name, DTEK by BlackBerry. This app lets you monitor and control the security of your phone in an easy-to-use interface. The app allows you to view and approve your privacy level and monitor app permissions to your camera, microphone, location, and personal information. You can easily find out what all the apps on your phone have access to and how it's being used, and limit that access by turning off the specific permissions that you would not like the app to have access to. As you can see, I have an excellent security status, but it also shows me one other thing I can do to secure my phone even more. The last pre-installed apps that I want to mention are the Notes and Tasks apps. Previously, these two apps were one app called Reminder on BB10, but BlackBerry has opted to split the apps on Android and make it two apps. This is not a bad idea, as the Task app on here is actually pretty good and useful. However, I find the Notes app does not live up to its predecessor. It can no longer do the basic things you can do on Reminder on BB10 that were essential to me. For example, it can't do voice notes or recording and add attachments. Both of those things were essential for me, as if I came up with an idea for a song or story, I would normally record the idea as a note and save it. So I've since had to download an app that has those features. I also want to mention that this phone has FM radio support, because why not? So you can listen to all your favorite radio stations, no problem. Now, since I'm reviewing a BlackBerry phone, I can't forget to talk about one of the best things that BlackBerry is known for, and that is the keyboard. It just does not seem right to talk about BlackBerry without mentioning keyboards, as it is one of the things that they are most known for. BlackBerry makes amazing physical keyboards, but if you've not previously owned a full-touch BlackBerry device, then you might not know that they make their virtual keyboards the same way. My previous phone before this one was a BlackBerry Z10, and it was a full-touch device, and the keyboard on that cannot be beat, as it was amazing. The DTEK50 is a full-touch device just like the Z10, and it comes with BlackBerry's own software keyboard. Just like the Z10, the keyboard has predictive text, which allows you to swipe up on a letter to quickly complete a word. This was a feature that I loved about the keyboard on my Z10, and I'm glad that it is now on the DTEK50. The keyboard on this phone is just as good as the one on the Z10 and BlackBerry's own full-touch devices. While using the keyboard on this phone, you get to see why BlackBerry's keyboards, whether physical or virtual, stand a cut above the rest. Now let's talk about the convenience key I mentioned earlier. The convenience key is a completely programmable button that can be used for a variety of functions, like composing a text or email, turning on the flashlight, speed dial a certain contact, or open any app. I have mine set to open to the hub, as it is one of my most used apps, along with BBM. Now on to the next important thing besides the convenience key, and that is the productivity tab. This tab lets you quickly glance at your calendar entries, emails, or messages, and you can swipe on select apps to expand their chosen widget, letting you glance at your calendar entry, for example, without having to leave a widget permanently on show on one of your home screens or having to open the calendar app up completely. This is a very useful tool to have, and I'm glad that BlackBerry added something like this to the Android version of their phones. If you're a fan of widgets, the pop-up widgets is another very useful feature. Basically, any app that you have that supports a widget will display 3 dots beneath it, and all you have to do is swipe up to open the widget. It's a really elegant solution without having them take any space on your home screens. Now let's talk about something else that is important. The DTEK50 has an LED notification, but it is only white. There is no red or any other color like all the other BlackBerries have. This is the first BlackBerry phone to have been released since they inputted that feature that does not at least have a red LED notification. Not having this may seem like a downside, and some people may not even consider getting the phone because of this. I can say though that the white LED is not that bad, and I'm actually even happy to have an LED notification, as some phones don't even have it. What I was worried about before I got the phone was that I will not be able to see the white LED notification. Now that I have the phone, it is not an issue. You can see the white LED with no problems. I do miss the red LED from my previous BlackBerry, and I'm a little jealous of my parents who have the Priv, as the Priv does have multicolor LED. But this is a feature that I could and have been currently living without and been getting used to. This is a feature that should not stop someone from getting this phone. I believe color LED may not be in this phone because it's not a fully BlackBerry phone, as the body of this phone is an Alcatel Idol 4. But, as I said, this alone should not stop you from getting the phone and seeing its full potential. It is just an LED notification, and it is not as important to me as regular tone notifications are. Speaking of regular tone notifications, they are not as easy to add as they were on BB10. With BB10, you can add a tone/ringtone notification for just about anything. If you want to add a certain ringtone for a contact on BBM when they send you a message, or set up a tone notification for Facebook or Twitter, you can do that super easily on BB10 with no problems. On Android here, I have found that you cannot do that as easily. It seems you can only set up one tone notification for BBM. This drove me to be a little bit mad, as for someone like me who for years had a BB10 phone and could do something like this so easily, it's kind of understandable that I would be this way. So I just wanted to mention that if you are thinking about getting this phone or the Priv, that beware, you will not be able to have all your notifications set up like you do on BB10. But there is a solution for this, and it is an app that I found, and it's called BB Ringtones. What it does is it makes it so you can set up a specific ringtone notification for any contact on BBM or other messaging apps like Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Google Hangouts, and more. The only downside to this app is that you have to wait until someone sends you a message first before you can set up a ringtone for them. So just send them a message and wait for their reply. Then once they reply, you can add a ringtone for them. This is a life-saving app for me because I always like to know who is contacting me before I even look at my phone. So I'm so glad I found this app because I was upset before that I could not add the ringtone notifications that I had set up on my previous phone for my best friend and other contacts on BBM. So I'll put a link down below to where you can download this app on the Google Play Store. It is free, but if you want to use all the features that the app has to offer, then it's only going to cost you 99 cents. So it's free, but it will cost you 99 cents to access all the features that the app has to offer. And that is not much at all. So let's get back on track with the BlackBerry DTEK50 review here. So a lot of people like to talk about that this phone is all about security, but it happens to be missing a fingerprint scanner. So they think that this phone is not secure because of that. BlackBerry chose not to put a fingerprint scanner mostly due to cost. Even though fingerprint scanners are more about security, I'm glad that BlackBerry decided to forego putting a fingerprint scanner on this phone, as they're actually not that secure. They may seem cool to have, but someone can easily get your fingerprint by using tape on whatever you touched and use that to access your phone. So in my opinion, it was a great decision to leave it out, even though it would be cool to have, but in reality, they're just not that secure. The BlackBerry DTEK50 is a mid-range smartphone that costs $429 Canadian dollars and $299 in the US. I think this is a great price for what this phone has to offer. This phone has decent specs and the security to boot, so I think for that price it is a good choice. Also, if you buy this phone from a carrier instead of buying it outright, the price will probably be cheaper as long as you're okay with being on a 2-year contract. BlackBerry is dubbing this phone, along with the Priv, as the world's most secure Android phones. I'm not an expert, so I can't say that it's true. But what I can say about this phone is that you never have to worry about your data or your personal information getting hacked or stolen. So with this phone, you can be rest assured that all your data and personal information is in safe hands with BlackBerry. I feel if anyone can try and make Android secure, BlackBerry can do it. They are known for their security. It is much harder to hack into a BlackBerry phone than any other phone. Now, I'm not saying that other phones are not secure. I'm just saying that BlackBerry is making it more of a top priority than anyone else. So, in conclusion, I would say that the BlackBerry DTEK50 is a pretty decent phone, but it's not the best phone out there, and nor is it the best phone in its category. BlackBerry did offer up a good phone with the DTEK50, and compared to the pricing of the Priv, they did much better this time. Now, I would have liked to have a little bit more of internal storage space, but that is easily overcome by getting yourself an SD card, which I have. For reference, I have a 32 gigabyte SD card, and it definitely helps with the storage space, as 16 gigabytes would just be too little. Now, I want to say, if you want a smartphone that prioritizes security and is relatively cheap, you're not going to find a better deal. Basically, if security is what you want in a phone, then the DTEK50 is the phone for you. If you are like me and you're coming from a BB10 phone like the Z10, the Z30, or the Q10, or any other earlier BB10 phones, then this phone is definitely a huge step up and well worth it, especially for the millions of apps that you can now get access to. It should not disappoint you very much or at all and will look great in your hands. People will no longer be looking at your phone and wondering what phone is that, or even criticizing you for having a phone that looks old. Now, if you are not already proud of owning a BlackBerry still, then having this phone compared to, say, the Z10 will definitely make you as proud as I am. I was already proud, but having this phone makes me feel a little bit better than before, even though I do miss the BB10 OS a little bit. It is great to see BlackBerry finally going in the right direction with the release of the DTEK50 and the Priv. With the next one that they release, whether it be a full touch one or one with a physical keyboard, I think can get them back some of the market share that they have lost. Obviously, I don't think that they can get back to when they were on top, but I think they can get firmly back on their feet and stay in the handset business. So as I said, the DTEK50 here is a decent phone from BlackBerry and it gets the job done well. On the other hand, this phone may not be for everyone, but I certainly do love it, even though it does have flaws. I do admit that I love my DTEK50 here and I have no regrets whatsoever. I plan to keep this phone for at least 2 years, and after that, I'll have to see what else BlackBerry has to offer. As I always tell people, as long as BlackBerry is still making phones, I will be buying them. I am a BlackBerry fan for life, and once I went over, I have never looked back. So, that's it. That's the end of the review. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the DTEK50 right here. I hope that I was insightful enough and made you consider getting this phone. So let me know in the comments below what you think of my review, and also tell me what you think about the phone. Also, let me know if you already have the DTEK50 or are considering getting it. I would love to hear your thoughts. So I'll see you guys next time with another video, and I just received this month's nerd block last week, so I'll be unboxing that next, and you can expect another gaming video after that. So all the links are down below to where you can follow me everywhere else on the internet and find me. And yeah, so I'll see you guys next time. So bye!